back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. Last episode I said actual play, and it made me legitimately have to pause there and think about what I'd say next.
I was confused too.
Yeah, but I'm your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules, an Azraketi Bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a Kobold Rogue.
Ryan, I'm Tough, an Automaton Inventor.
Zach and I play Terran, a Human Waltz.
I'm just like, my mind's thinking, like, what does that mean? I'm trying to... You're Zach, and I play Tyrion, a Human Waltz. Okay, yeah, that works. I'll
Keep going, go ahead, Zach.
Okay, thank you, Tyrion.
I'll allow it.
Let me put on my GM hat since I'm not playing Tyrion, a Human Waltz right now.
That's me.
Yeah. Last time on Mortals and Portals, you guys rendezvoused with Elyara, overlooking the city before you embarked on your mission, and you saw the Merkvane was guarding the castle, which is in the heart of the city within a lake on an island. Ryan, do you understand that?
Don't call me out like that.
Don't worry. Joel edits the episodes. You guys would think that Ryan was following along perfectly the entire time. We didn't have to draw a donut diagram.
And they could
or
have kept
to
thinking that too.
No, I'm actually only over-explaining it now because I think other people could be confused, Ryan, because you're a really smart guy, Ryan.
We have to cater the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, no. Yeah, if you guys could draw a donut for Ryan again. So yeah, when they zipline into the city, they're not at the castle yet. They still have to go through the city, across a lake, to an island with a castle. Everybody good? All right, cool. So, yeah, they spent some time while they're waiting for the city to descend into the clouds, which would give them cover so they can work their way through the city without being detected by all the creepy undead and kitsune that are prowling about. And while they're waiting, they had some time to talk to one another, prepare in any way they need to. They had some coffee together. Tough went off and crafted some kind of item that he's put in a bag that Jules is supposed to use for the signal to let them know to storm the castle and all that. During that time, he also mentioned, like, hey, when the Flor de Vida is taken out of me, Elyara thinks that I'm basically going to be as Ciudad de la Nubes is, where I only have a limited amount of time before I'm dead for good. And Jules didn't really want to think about that, and they're just encouraging each other, saying, like, don't worry, we'll figure out a way after all that. Waltz went off and had a vision, and I just gave him the vaguest of descriptions, just enough to make him feel completely uncomfortable about what they're doing, but not have any real information that he can act on or do anything with. So that
I just wanted
happened.
to thank you, Zach.
You're welcome, Taryn. I love doing stuff like that. I just want you to feel on edge and just not comfortable and but not know what to do about it. You know, that's the key. Yeah. So thank you. Glad you appreciated that.
I like feeling helpless in this world that you've made for us. Good.
And then the city did descend into the clouds as predicted. Tough only hit a couple of branches this time. Mm-hmm. And then Elyara said, hey, I have to go Azoki. We're going to go free the hippogriffs. And good luck. And she flew off. Oh, and did I mention there was a zip line there that they can use to get into the city? Yeah, once she flew off, they all got around it. And then Jules just casually said, hey, by the way, Renard's dead. So now everybody knows Renard's dead, and they don't really have time to process that or know what to do about that. Just like we didn't know what to do when Josh left the group. You know, it took us a while to process it. Mm-hmm. And once we were done saving...
all my money on red.
Yeah. Once we were done saving a city that was plummeting to the earth and destroyed the planet, then we were able to process Josh. So just like that, we would hope that Digsby's crew would have time to process Renard.
Art reflects life.
And you guys all hopped onto the zip line, went into this misty, cloud-covered city as you heard the frightening roars of undead beneath. And that is where we ended our session. So that is where we will start our session. Could you all roll me an acrobatics check? If you fail, you die, so be careful.
That'd be a 15 for Jules.
22, Zach.
That is a 29.
Tough's like acrobatics and stuff, I feel like is not that low, but I just roll so terribly anytime he has to do anything athletic.
You're not a very good cat.
No, I got a 16.
Cool. So again, you guys are surging down this zip line, rushing at an incredible speed. You don't feel like you're slowing down at all as you begin to see the rooftops of buildings, knowing you are nearing the end as you rush downwards. You remember what Elyara said. If you start to cross the sides of the bark, you can maybe slow yourself, trying to break. Dax, this might even feel reminiscent of when you were soaring over the lava rivers in Dreckheim at this incredible speed, feeling weightless as you fly downward. You're maybe even finding some enjoyment in this as you've done things sort of like this before. Jules, on the other hand, are starting to feel a little shaky as you're starting to rock side to side, having trouble slowing yourself down. You don't know how much time you have left. You're raising your feet up ahead of you just to kind of be able to focus on something, maybe slow yourself in some way. You're hearing undead beneath you. It makes you feel very, very uneasy. And as you near the end, you quickly realize you're almost out of time and are going too fast, and you try and cross the bark as tightly as you can, and it makes you start to rotate on the line just a little bit, and then you let go, feeling like you're about to smash into something and drop further than you thought you would. You thought you were closer to the ground and maybe hit the cobblestone and tried to roll and then somersault and smash into the side of a building, and you are going to take 3 damage. There goes Digby's temporary hit points.
I was going to say, thanks, Digsby.
Waltz, you don't feel like the most acrobatic of people, but just from like sheer strength alone and core strength, you're able to keep yourself balanced, and you're able to grip tightly on the bark and twist it as you near the end and kind of hear the commotion of Jules up ahead and knowing it's coming to an end, and you slow yourself perfectly, use the strength of your legs as you make contact with the ground, and then roll expertly, and then stand up to your feet and see Jules near you. Dax, you just fly down this thing like an expert, and right at the end you slow yourself and then flip off of the zip line and land perfectly with one hand, the superhero landing. And then Tough, you see Dax do that and think that like maybe that's how you're supposed to get off this thing, because the whole time you're going down the zip line you're like, what do I do, how do I get off this? And you see Dax try a flip, so you release your tail and try a flip of your own, and then also are higher than you thought you were, and then stick out your legs in a panic, and then just kind of like stiff leg land on the ground, and then you guys hear the clanking of an automaton rolling, and then they also smash into a building nearby, and you take 2 damage.
Do I smash into the same building as Jules?
Yeah, you just roll right into Jules. You hit him as well.
Oh! I smack him. Jules, you shook the line.
Hi, Tough.
Hi, Jules.
Can you get off me now?
Waltz will walk over and try and help both of them up. I'll reach one hand out to Tough and pull him up, and then another hand out to Jules and pull him up. You guys are right, it wasn't too bad. I just figured if I held on really tight as long as I could, that everything would be okay, and it was perfect. What happened to you guys?
Same thing.
Yeah,
I just
all according to plan.
needed to take a quick rest.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just do some rotations. Yeah.
Dex, how you feeling?
I'm doing great. Glad we all made it. Did you guys see those things down there as we were going over?
I did. Definitely want to steer clear of them.
Gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it.
Unnatural.
So you guys are in this city now. You know vaguely where you landed, in the direction you need to go. Elyara did point out a few places you could try and stop at if you wanted. Obviously that makes you spend more time in here, is a little bit greater of a risk. Or you can just try and make your way through the city to the Castle of Starsea. But either way, you need to be stealthy, move slowly, keep an eye out for things. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, boys, do we get into position or do we need to make a stop?
I say we make a stop and get some supplies. It's going to be a long day.
I'm with Waltz here. What do we think? She said there might be some potions over that way, and Dax will point. What was the other thing? Just like general equipment, it sounded like maybe? Weapons
yeah,
or
Dex, if you want to check out the potions, I can go to the supplies and see if I can find anything. And, I don't know, maybe we meet back up here, or what do you guys think?
I don't know that we should split up. We barely even know where we're going.
And as you say that, you just hear like the moans and growls of undead vaguely off in the distance, bouncing off the buildings.
Yeah, we gotta stay quiet. Jules, what
We
do you
also
think?
need to be decisive here. I mean, if we need supplies, we need supplies, but I feel like we can cover more ground if we split up for a moment.
Can I do a perception check and just see if I see where the supply shop is, Zach, and how many bogeys are in the way, and how many bogeys are around the supply shop, and how many I can pick out in a fight?
Yeah, roll it up. Let's see what you find out.
Let's see what I roll. A 21.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Waltz, so you know in relation to where you are, at least, where the apothecary and supply store is, but you can't see it from where you are, which makes sense because you're in thick cloud cover right now. You're literally amidst the clouds in this moment, so you wouldn't expect to be able to see it, but you are at least grateful that you have enough sense of direction right now, despite that you know where they are. And then you just hear the sounds of undead or other humanoids or things moving throughout the city. You don't really know like how far necessarily. So if you went to either of those things, you're not moving in a straight line to Castle of Star Sea. You are deviating from a path. But no, you don't necessarily see like there's this many people and they're over there and that's how far I am from the thing and stuff like that. But just knowing the general direction is still impressive considering like what just happened.
Look, I don't know if I need any supplies. If anything, it'd be a potion of some sort.
I think I'm with you, Jules. I've got the weapons I need. I feel all right that way. I'm not very well versed in potions, to be honest with you, but
We can't even guarantee that we'll find anything we need.
Yeah, but we are going to need all the help we can get. We don't know what we're going to run into. Listen, let me I'll scout ahead a little bit. I know the supply shop is just up over here. If I think it gets too dangerous.
You would be the last person I would trust to go sneak off somewhere.
Listen, I'll be fine.
Let's just all go. Let's stick together. Dax, you lead the way.
yeah, with the fog this thick, I don't know that we'd find each other again. At least not quickly, not quietly.
Agreed.
This better not screw us over.
No, what's the worst that could happen?
All right, well, point me to the direction of the supply shop then.
Okay, well, the supply shop's this way, and Walt will kind of point to his left. And then maybe like 45 degrees or 90 degrees to the right, he'll be like, and the apothecary is that way.
Good reading, buddy.
Oh yeah, I've been doing this for years.
Alright, I'm confused. Are we going to the supply or the apothecary? What do we need?
Well, I'm gonna go get supplies if anybody wants to go to the apothecary.
Fine, okay, fine. We're going that way. And then Dax starts sneaking off that way.
I'll roll my eyes. Oh, fine. And then I'll follow Dax. I'm gonna try to like match his movements.
Are we doing follow the expert here?
I would love that.
Okay, so you can add a +8 if that is higher than what your actual stealth is.
Yeah.
So you all have to roll me a stealth check if we're doing this.
Well, it only took us 5 minutes to decide.
Can you all text me what it is just to keep up the tension?
Yeah,
Wait,
are
I
stealth
get to
checks
use-
hidden rolls?
They are, but I still like to let you guys roll for your own stuff.
And I get to use +8, right?
Yeah. Can't wait for Waltz's 9. Wow, these are some interesting rolls. We'll just
Waltz's
say that.
idea, and then he's just gonna totally screw everyone over.
You guys didn't have to follow me. Just let me go.
I think pretty much all of us decided not to, and it was you who was like, I'm gonna go.
Can you all also roll me a perception check?
11.
I got a 19.
15.
Ryan is 12.
Ooh, not great rolls.
Nope.
All right, so Dax creeps to the front of the group, maybe puts a set up, gets low, starts to work his way through the mist, and you all follow behind him in a single file line, keeping decent spacing, but making sure you can at least see the man in front of you, since you cannot see very far. And as you're working your way through the city, you notice many crumbled buildings, occasionally a fire that is illuminating the mist around it. But it looks like the fire is being gradually dampened just from the moisture in the air. You can tell a great battle happened here. You see rubble thrown very far from buildings, probably from when the city fell a couple times. You see dead kitsune in the street occasionally. Hard to tell if they're one of the evil kitsune serving Raoul or native to the city. Dax, you notice signs of gunshots from Voshek weapons, explosions that look like they would come from sun shard weapons. And maybe, Dax, the further you go, like the more unsettled you get with this idea that you weren't really on board with in the first place. You notice as you're moving with the sounds of the undead that they're not necessarily moving in large clumps, like they're really fanned out and maybe just wandering. as you see one or two from cover as you're moving through the city, you can tell they're alert, but it doesn't really give you the sense of like a typical scouter person who would be scouring the scene or looking for signs of this or that, but they are on the prowl and clearly patrolling. And again, you can tell from when you fought them at the cafe that they do seem to have discernment and following some sort of direction and strategy. They're not just mindless beasts, even though they're undead. And Jules, as you're walking, your foot kicks something.
Gosh, dang it, every time.
And you stop dead in your tracks, and everyone stops dead. And Tough, maybe you're the one directly in front of Jules, and he had kicked a rifle that slides to your feet, which you might stop with your foot, and you all just look at each other very intensely with your eyes wide open, pausing, and let out a sigh of relief, realizing you maybe haven't alerted anyone with that fumble. But Tough, you look down and recognize these as the rifles that the Kitsune were shooting you at, the one you said, "And I want that gun," to the golden fox.
Don't mind if I do.
And I'll pick it up.
You're welcome. Shh.
You shush. Don't you shush me.
No, you shush. You were the one that made the sound first.
Hey, if you weren't making stupid steps, I would have seen it.
Jules, for the last time. Shh.
And as you guys turn forward and start to move again, you hear bickering up ahead.
Considering I've got the scout dedication class feat and everything, that's kind of exactly my wheelhouse. So Dax will put a closed fist up to signal to stop, and then he'll point in the direction of the bickering.
Do you all just shelter in place for a moment, or what?
Yeah, I'll take a knee. Just kind of wait for Dax's signal.
I'll freeze up.
I'll try to listen in on what they're saying.
Yeah, but I'm partially distracted by staring at my new rifle.
So you guys are at a crossroads in the city, and the road crossing perpendicular in front of you, you can hear that someone is about to walk through this intersection, but is on the other side of a building. And it sounds like Kitsune, and you hear one say, as they start to cross and make their way into the opening where you can vaguely see their silhouettes.
What are we still doing here anyway? We have descended into the clouds. This is madness. There is no way we'll make it to the node unless we leave soon. Yes, but Raoul is here now, and something is going on. We must defend the city longer. This is madness. I was willing to die, but not for stupidity. There's no reason for us to be here.
And then the other Kitsune grabs him by the shoulders and shakes him.
Do not forget what we are fighting for. Do not say things like that. We are the Keeper's chosen people. Do not forget.
And the other one calms down and grabs the other one's wrist and pulls his hands away from him, like, okay.
Right, but do not think the Keepers chose us to die for no purpose.
And the other one shakes their head, and then they start to walk down the street again, making their way behind another building and out of sight.
Dax will look back to Waltz after a few beats, just trying to get a reassurance on direction of travel for us.
Yeah, Waltz will just kind of point him in the direction of the supply shop.
Dax will nod his head and start to make his way that direction.
I follow.
I will too.
I will too. I'm so excited to see what we find.
You guys continue down the street, maybe pausing occasionally as you see an undead wander out in front of you and down another alley. And I would say that a few of you on occasion maybe felt like you did something that wasn't as stealthy as you observed the way Dax is navigating this, and are just very grateful for the cloud cover that you're in that is making it very difficult for you to be spotted in general. And maybe appreciate Elyara's plan and see why it was that you guys waited. Dax, you eventually lay eyes on the supply store up ahead with a massive hole in the front of the building where you could simply walk right in. You could tell it was struck by some debris or something, but it is just beyond the other side of a street you were on.
Up ahead. Lay low.
After you.
You got it, Dax. And Waltz will stay low to the ground and continue to follow the expert as stealthily as he can.
The four of you wander in, stepping over the shattered wall. Maybe your foot crushing some glass beneath you as you step in, freezing again and looking at each other as you just hear the similar sounds of the undead outside. No detectable change. Feel you're okay and continue to walk around the store. Can you all roll me a perception check?
Yeah.
Ryan got a 26.
That is a dirty 30.
Oh,
15.
14.
So, Jules and Waltz, you walk in and see that this place has been looted or destroyed. Like, you see big chunks of debris in here. You see signs that things exploded. So, you just kind of feel like there's not really much to find in here and maybe feel defeated. Waltz, you maybe even feel regret because you let everyone out here and it doesn't seem to be fruitful. But Dax, the scavenger, who's used to having to work for things worth finding, starts to dig around a bit and then just starts tossing things over his shoulder to the group as he finds them. And you guys look up, maybe surprised, and start catching a few items. And Dax, after you feel like you've picked everything over, stand up and look around at everything you toss back to the group. And Dax, after you turn around and see what you threw to everyone, you also see over their shoulder just a weapons rack with just very standard looking weapons, nothing special. Take mental note of that and then look at the group as they're looking over everything you threw to them. Tough, right away, as you see maybe like it's what Jules is holding, you just want this so bad, like it just looks interesting to you. And you can tell as Jules is looking at something he's kind of confused by that it's a wrist attachment of some sorts and looks like a clockwork kind of creation, something mechanical.
hey, give me that. And I like reach out and snatch it from Jules.
You could ask nicely. Jeez, tough.
I'm just gonna like look it over and try to figure out what it is. Maybe like bring down the little goggles I've got over my forehead to take a closer look at it.
I'll walk away from him because I didn't appreciate that.
And as you inspect this Tough, you can tell that this is a wrist grappler of some kind.
Oh, heck yeah.
This specialized grappling gun, which fastens to your wrist, connects to a spool of 50 feet of thin metal cord attached to a pack on your back. This wrist grappler and pack are small enough that they can be concealed with a loose jacket or similar piece of clothing. You can deploy or stow the gun from the attached wrist device with an interact action. Reloading a wrist grappler of this kind takes 3 interactions.
I like this. Tough immediately just starts putting that on his own wrist.
Yeah, you see, you never know what we gotta find. Supply shop.
Dax, when Tough got really eager to take that, you realize he dropped what he caught, and it was 3 arrows.
Okay.
And when you pick them up, you notice the tips have a finish on them that makes them look like fire.
Ooh.
Just the tips?
And can tell that these tips are designed to expand when shot, and have a feeling that these tips are explosive.
Heck yeah.
Waltz and Jules, you see them all just kind of looking at something and like kind of having fun, and then just look at the last 2 things, and you see one is a vial with oil in it, and the other that Waltz is holding, because it was the heaviest one, so Dax threw it to him, is a saddle. So the vial of oil is the oil of swiftness. Anoint a weapon with this, and you will get the benefits of the speed rune for 1 minute, which gives you the quickened condition, which lets you do an extra action on your turn.
Oh, 4 action, boys.
Yes, in this saddle, Waltz, maybe you press something on it, and then it starts to grow armor out the sides in the shape of a hippogriff, and then it realizes there's no hippogriff there, and then it like retracts back into the saddle.
Whoa! That is cool.
It's armor for Smithski.
Yeah. Jules will pocket the vial of oil, and then he's going to stand in position near the big hole that we entered through and just kind of keep a lookout.
Dax will kneel down and pick up those arrows off the ground, and a smirk will befall his face as he looks to that that weapons rack. He'll pull a bow off that, toss it onto his back, throw the arrows in the quiver, and feel less vulnerable than he did before. He's happy to have some ranged options again.
Tough will have strapped on the wrist grappler and kind of put his forearm out in front of him like he's aiming down the sights with it, and just kind of mouth to himself, pew, pew, pew. And then just like look around to see if anybody saw him doing that, and then go, maybe we should get out of here, huh?
Waltz will just be walking with the saddle, trying to find any little handheld items that he can, maybe any knives or any tools that might have been left over. What does he see, Zach?
Well, you could certainly find knives in the traditional weapons rack. Like, it's a little picked over, like some weapons are missing, but most standard weapons could be found there. What kind of tools are you looking for?
Just really good ones.
Really good ones?
Is there a hammer?
There's certainly a hammer. Yeah, you can get like a normal like war hammer or other hammer.
Yeah, I'm going to grab one of those and I'm going to put that in my belt loop.
Oh.
What are you doing with that, buddy? Just
don't
want
know
a
yet.
hammer.
Find out later.
Maybe I'll grab 2 hammers. Is there 2?
Yeah.
2 hammers, 2 knives.
Why stop there? Grab 3.
What are you
3
doing?
hammers, 3 knives.
Oh wait, there's more.
Yeah, that's
It's
all.
hammer time.
No, that's all I want. 2
I'm
hammers,
really
2
curious
knives.
what that's for. I want 2
Unless-
hammers and 2 knives.
Well, is there anything else that's cool that's worth taking? Screwdrivers, DeWalt tools, power drills?
Nah, you're not at Home Depot.
I think Tuff will just look over to Waltz and all the crap that he grabbed, like he's just trying to lug out the entire shop with him, and just be like,
Waltz, what are you doing?
You know we have to sneak out of here, right?
What are you gonna do with a freaking saddle?
It's not for me. It's for Smith. It's armor for Smith.
Smith isn't here, you jack.
Yeah, well, if things go smoothly, we're going to wish we had this at some point. So I guess I'll just kind of carry it until I need to get rid of it. I don't know.
All right, guys, I think we gotta go.
Agreed.
Where do you want to go now? The Castle of Starsea?
You guys want to check out that apothecary? Yeah.
Go, Waltz, there's no way we're sneaking around while you're wearing a saddle on your back.
I don't think we've got the time. I think we need to go.
Got pretty lucky back there. you
There
know.
was 2 hammers.
Yeah, 2
What
of
are you
them.
going to do with 2 hammers?
I don't know yet. I have no idea.
Oh my god.
I'm extremely curious.
Typical.
We really can't be late, guys. We gotta go.
All right, well, if you guys are trying to make your way towards the castle now, can you each text me 2 more stealth checks?
Ooh. I used a hero point on one of them.
Okay. The 4 of you exit and make your way back into the city. You feel like you have a better understanding now of how to navigate these things, having made your journey to the supply store. You can for sure hear Waltz's hammers clanking just a little bit more, rubbing against his chainmail, the leather straps of his saddle. But he's doing his best to be quiet. Maybe bicker with him a few times to leave the saddle behind or the hammers, and he's like, no, I need them.
Waltz, just leave it.
No, you'll never know when it comes in handy.
You've been moving through the city long enough now that you just desperately want it to be over. You feel like the longer you're in here, the greater likelihood of being caught. Just hoping you're going to be there soon at any moment. And Dax, you notice a shifting, converging group of alleyways that you're trying to navigate through. You're looking over your shoulder, making sure that Tuff is still behind you, hoping that Tuff is also looking back and making sure Jules is still behind them, and that Jules is looking back and making sure Waltz is still behind them. As you're zigzagging, you're about to go down one alleyway, see an undead, turn, go down another, starting to get very shifty, moving very quickly. You don't want to hold up the group so that they can pass. You're all moving very quickly, and each of you feel like you're still following the person that you should be following. And Waltz, you see them picking up the pace and do your best to keep up. Your hammer's clanking a little more as you turn into a brisk jog. You keep barely turning a corner in time just to see Jules wrapping around the corner, and then you try and catch up and then turn, and then you're seeing less and less of them.
oh no.
And then Waltz, you turn and see Jules standing there. Looks like he's holding up for something. waiting for you. Maybe there's something up ahead. So you creep up behind him and put your hand on his shoulder.
No.
Oh god.
And instantly can tell this doesn't feel like Jules' shoulder.
No.
As a head twists around of what looks like an undead orc who grits their teeth with black ooze coming out of their mouth. Can you roll me an athletics check for initiative?
God.
Waltz.
Yes, I can.
Ah, crap.
I'm glad when I thought you guys might make it all the way through because you actually all rolled really well. Taryn re-rolled a nat 1 and got a 2. So.
Oh no.
Waltz, you immediately, just like in a kind of shocked reaction, just push very strongly into this orc's chest as they stumble backwards and realize that you have the jump on them as they are stumbling. So you get to go first. What do you do?
Waltz will take out both hammers and say, it's hammer time.
Oh my god. And that's where we'll end.
And Waltz will go to clock him in the face as hard as he can with one of his hammers.
I'm
So I guess that's
this is
probably
like your
two
first time
actions.
using a weapon. Was there something about hammers that makes you feel okay? Like, is bashing people's skulls in alright?
Well, it's undead, which makes
yeah.
me feel better. And also,
sure.
I have the holy aura, so any holy effect that this enemy might take, it would take from any of my strikes.
Oh, nice.
And I also, because of that, gain the anathema commit murder, which makes sense because I don't like murder. It's part of my religion as a champion, guys.
Roll
Holy
your
aura,
attack.
baby. First one, 26, Zach.
Ooh.
And do I only get to do one because I took out 2 weapons?
Yeah, I'll let you do that. Yeah.
Beauty. So 26 and
That's nice.
16.
Okay, you take out these 2 hammers, these 2 light hammers, and run up and maybe jump in the air and swing down and just crack into the skull of this orc with the hammer. Roll damage for your first attack.
8 damage, Zach.
And you feel it crack bone when you hit it, and you feel like that would just knock out a normal person, and you maybe even see their eyes like roll back and see the whites of their eyes for a moment, and then they like readjust and their eyes flare green. So it's not the blue from the undead that you saw Gothram revive with the Flor de Vida, but it's like the original ones that you encountered back at the cafe in Mazibo. And you're maybe thrown off a little bit by how quickly it regained its senses and how unaffected it just looked like it didn't even feel pain. And then you go to swing the second hammer and it grabs your wrist and stops you.
Uh-oh.
And as it grabs your wrist, you look down and realize that it has a thick metal gauntlet on their hand. Can you roll me a perception check with a +4 circumstance bonus?
Perception check with the +4 circumstance bonus. Okay, so hear me out. I got a 13, but technically it's a nat 1.
Oh, seriously? You suck, dude. Roll a percentage die. You've been rolling
Yay,
so
percentage
bad. I love
dice.
it. Percentage die. Percentage die.
D100. Roll a D100.
I feel like Taryn loves bad rolls in like a way that I just honestly I enjoy so much.
85.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Okay, so because of this nat 1, but the way you got the percentage die, you are going to notice something, but it will affect you in a different way. So rather than just knowing it, you're still gonna suffer something for this. But
What?
as you look down at the gauntlet that's gripping your hand, it unearths a memory in you back in Mandaru when you were fighting an orc in that battle, and it had a metal gauntlet on its hand and it was punching you with that. And you look up and realize that this is the orc you killed in your origin episode. And the last thing he said was, "At least I died free." And you just get this like gut-wrenching feeling that because you killed this orc who thought he died free and is now enslaved by a dark master and is not free.
But at least at the time that I killed him, he was free, right? So that's good.
Yeah. And as you're realizing this, Waltz, who's done his best not to kill this entire time, and the one time he has killed is now seen that it perhaps led to something truly evil and wicked.
Crazy.
Almost like the evil that he perceives accompanies killing is staring him right in the face. This orc still gripping your wrist looks up in the air and lets out a roar that resonates through the alleyways that the rest of Digsby's crew hears echoing after them.
God dang it.
As an uproar of undead can be heard engulfing you from all sides.
Oh no.
And that is where we'll end
Off the rails immediately.
Session.
Choo choo choo.
Wow,
What in the
I thought
gosh
you guys
darn.
might actually make it all the way through there, and it was one really, really bad roll. But I love it. I'm here for it. That's super cool. It would have been really anticlimactic if you made it all the way through the Undead City without being seen. So good job, Taryn, being bad at rolling dice. You suck. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
thanks
hey,
a lot,
hold on,
Taryn.
hold on. Wait, Adam, was that you?
Yeah,
Did
it was
you
me.
say something?
What's up, Zach?
Joel, you
I
look
I
like
did.
you
I
want to
said
say
thanks
something.
a lot,
I
Taryn.
do. I really want to say something.
Ryan's
So really,
smiling.
okay,
Taryn,
let me
you
tell you
asked
this.
us.
Me.
Taryn's just dealing with
And I
the
said,
stress
yeah,
of what just
what's up,
happened.
Zach?
But yeah, I just
Taryn
want to let
looks
all you
And
guys
then you
know.
asked what I said. Oh,
Shut up.
Oh.
I'm really sorry. Like, I just... Shut up. Thank you. Okay, cool. Yeah, now that you guys have shut up like you should have done on your own, I don't know why I still have to tell you. I just want to read a few things that I have seen online. What shall I read this time?
You always make it sound so ambiguous.
Just some things I've seen
I don't even
online.
have turtles have
shall
a life
I
expectancy.
Let's start off by looking at Ryan's browsing history. What you got?
Deleted.
What is my browsing history?
What is it?
How to add special ammo to Path Builder, Meteor Shot, Path Builder Ammunition, PF2E Foundry Ammunition, how to add ammo to Path Builder.
how to tell your friends that you love them.
But really though, if I don't know how to add ammo, it's driving me nuts.
I think you put it in the shaft, right?
Oh, I didn't click the shaft checkbox. That's my bad.
So today I'm just going to read a couple comments left on some Spotify episodes. So we got 2 comments as of now on Season 2, Episode 13, Friend or Foe. Just 2 pretty cool comments. I just want to read them. The first one is, I can't butcher this one because it's just 3 letters. Like, it's just BLS, so I don't... ABC, we'll say it's from ABC, even though I just said the real name. And they said... I've been binging your show since the beginning of August, and I just caught up today, and it's a bittersweet feeling. I can't wait to hear more from you guys. I'll be here every episode. You don't have to worry. So excited to hear more. I just love stuff like that, because when they put that, they said they binged it, so they got through everything in like about a month and a half, which was just like really cool to know that someone's like hooked on the series. It's cool that at this point we've made enough episodes that you can binge, you know, because I always loved it when I found something like a podcast or something I liked and just to kind of binge it and immerse yourself in it. So thanks for sharing that enthusiasm. Sorry you're caught up. I know it's probably not as fun to wait every 2 weeks when you used to be able to just roll on to the next one, but we only have so much time in the day. We can only make so many episodes, and Ryan just can't make music all the time. And Taryn, you just see, all he hears is sound effects in his sleep, and Joel just listens to so many lip smacks, he just can't do it, and like Adam's just got to draw so much stuff. It's just like, we can't, man. But yeah, maybe in an alternate timeline we do this full time. That'd be so cool. I would love that. But yeah, thanks for just saying you'll always be here, man. That's really cool. Appreciate that. And then butchered name, I'll say Bob Wiley said,
It's just Bob.
I'm really enjoying your campaign. Can tell you are all good friends. Keep it up. Can you guys believe that? No matter how much I tell you to shut
Thanks,
up, they think
Bob.
I still like you guys as friends. That's so confusing. Maybe I should say it louder.
Zach.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys. You guys are the best. You guys are so great.
Zach
That's
gets
cool.
like this sometimes. He gets a little crazy.
He's
Yeah,
wild.
I'm glad that people can tell we like each other and we're having fun, because that was like really important to me, because you know, some podcasts it just kind of sounds like they hired a bunch of mercenary actor people and we're hanging out, but this is who we play with. This is who we played with before we podcast. We are friends, and
We'll probably play after this podcast.
yeah, we'll probably play after this podcast. I love you guys, and thank you for that nice comment,
Oh, I love
everyone.
you too.
Yeah. Anytime you feel like commenting on an episode, you know, please do that. It's we always enjoy reading it. We share it with each other. It's really fun. So thank you guys for taking the time to do that. And we will see you next time, mortals.
Here's the blooper.
Oh, what's the worst that could happen?
Don't jinx us, you son of a...
Hey, you said it, not me.
GM Sacronesti would never backstab his players.
All you gotta do is dangle some potions in front of these chumps, and then you can kill them. It's so easy.